Our 15 jurors have returned. We waive calling in the roll.
Yes, Judge. Detective Cochran, I believe.
Just remind you're still under oath. And I did not say that this morning, but just remind that you are.
Yes, Your Honor.
Detective, we are at Boone County Sheriff's Office, item 54, Commonwealth's Exhibit 172. What do we have there?
One pair of jeans with a ripped portion.
Thank you. Next, I'm going to direct you to Commonwealth's Exhibit, well, it's labeled Commonwealth's Exhibit 173, Boone County Sheriff's Office, number 58.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at there?
We are looking at one pair of thong underwear.
And were those worn by the victim in this case?
They were.
Okay. And that's marked as Commonwealth's Exhibit 173. Detective, I'm going to direct your attention to Boone County Sheriff's Office, item 59.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at there?
A sexual assault kit.
And at the same time, and we're going to mark that Commonwealth's Exhibit 174, I also want you to pull out Commonwealth's Exhibit 175, Boone County Sheriff's Office, item number 60.
These were both marked as sexual assault kits at the medical examiner's office. Unfortunately, at the medical examiner's office, 2 sexual assault kits were tendered to us, but only 1 sexual assault kit was actually collected. The other sexual assault kit the doctor had used as a container for some hair samples, and those numbers have been transposed.
Was there an occasion where one of these kits was sent to a serologist? I believe her name is Michelle Burns.
It was.
And can you explain what happened?
What happened is that one of the sexual assault kits got sent that was not the original actual sexual assault kit. It was the hair sample kit. Ms. Burns recognized the error, and we provided her the actual sexual assault kit.
Okay. Again, those are, I'm asking you not open those, Commonwealth's Exhibit 174 and 175. Next, I'd like you to pull Boone County Sheriff's Office, item number 51. We're going to mark that Commonwealth's Exhibit 176.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can open that, please.
Yes, sir. This is a package containing 3 brown shirts and 2 pairs, I believe, of pants.
Detective, do you know from where those were collected?
1747 Tanglewood Drive, apartment 5. Okay, place it back in the bag.
You can place them back in the bag. So I'd like you to pull Boone County Sheriff's Office number 68. For the court, I am marking the last bag, item, Commonwealth Exhibit number 176.
I'm sorry, which number, sir? 68?
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
We're going to mark that as Commonwealth Exhibit 177. What are we looking at?
We are again looking at a buccal swab.
And who's it of?
Ed Yasuka.
Please look up item number 69.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at?
Buccal standard.
We'll mark this as Commonwealth Exhibit 178. And who's the standard of?
Roger Hibner.
Item 70. What are we looking at there?
Buccal standard.
Of who?
Anthony Grubbs.
And this will be marked as Commonwealth Exhibit 179. Pull up item 71, please. What are we looking at?
Buccal standard.
Of who?
David Owen.
Okay, we'll mark this as Commonwealth Exhibit 180. Item 172, please.
I'm sorry, what's the sheriff's number?
72.
Oh, okay. Is it buccal standard?
Of who?
Joetta Webster.
And we'll mark this as Commonwealth Exhibit 181.
$73.
Yes.
Is a buccal standard from Douglas Tungate.
So Boone County Sheriff's Office 73 is marked as Commonwealth Exhibit 182. And let me just, while we're pulling these out, were a number of buccal swabs taken in this case?
They were. There were some that were taken the day of the homicide at the warehouse, and then some were additionally taken as other people were investigated and talked to.
And what do you do with these swabs?
They are basically standards in the case. We collect a big group of standards because DNA is so important now, and we submit those all to the Kentucky State Police Lab.
And is it used to see if it's a match with maybe another piece of evidence?
With any other piece of evidence or any other DNA at the scene.
That last one was 73. Let's look at Boone County Sheriff's Office item number 74. And is this another?
It is. It is another buccal standard.
Of whom?
Justin Bland.
We'll mark this Commonwealth Exhibit 183. Please pull item 75.
It is again another buccal standard for Mr. Kenneth Hicks.
We'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 184. Who'd you say that is?
Kenneth Hicks.
All right, so then we'll go to item number 76.
What's the Commonwealth exhibit number?
186.
I think it's 185.
I think you're right. It's 185. I'm sorry.
Our number 185?
No, the court's Exhibit 185. It's Boone County Sheriff's Office, item number 76.
Give me just a moment, sir. Sorry, sir, that one's out of order. It's a buccal standard, sir.
Of who?
Ruth Colmeyer.
Okay, and we'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 185. If you would pull item 77. What are we looking at?
We are looking at another buccal standard from Ms. Sherry Baker.
And we'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 186. Next up is Boone County Sheriff's Office, number 78.
Another buccal standard, sir.
And who's that from?
That is from Ms. Sandy Fryman.
We'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 187. Next, I'd like you to pull Boone County Sheriff's Office, item number 79.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at there?
Another buccal standard.
From whom?
Michael Lee.
We'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 188. Next, pull Boone County Sheriff's Office, item number 80.
A buccal standard from Oscar Robinson.
Mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 190. Please pull item number 82, Boone County Sheriff's Office, item 82. What are we looking at?
Buccal standard.
From whom?
Rodney La Follette.
We'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 191. Pull Boone County Sheriff's Office, item 83. What are we looking at?
A buccal standard from Mr. Thomas Seaman.
We'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 192. Please pull item number 84.
So which one was, I want to make sure. Robinson was 189, La Follette was 190.
I've got us for Robinson as 190. And Rodney LaFollette is 191.
Who do you have as 88?
That's what we.
Who do you have as 89? Skip
I want you to pull Boone County Sheriff's Office, item number 80.
Yes, sir. That is a
What is it?
buccal swab from Garland Latham.
Okay. And we'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 189.
Latham to 189. Robinson is 90, and La Follette, I'm going to correct, is 99. Latham.
Robinson's 190. LaFollette is 191.
We haven't gotten to that one yet. I think it'll be next. Or did you already say that?
Well, so that we're clear, what is Boone County Sheriff's item number 83?
Item number 83 is a buccal standard from Mr. Thomas Seaman.
Okay, and we'll mark that as Commonwealth Exhibit 192. Okay, please pull item number 84.
That is a buccal standard from Mr. Willie McCauley.
Thank you. We'll mark that as Commonwealth Exhibit 193. Please pull item number 85.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at?
We are looking at a buccal standard.
From whom?
Miss Cindy Davis.
I'm sorry, who?
Cindy Davis.
We'll mark that as Commonwealth Exhibit 194. Please pull item 86.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at there?
This is again a buccal standard from Paul Hansman.
Mark that as Commonwealth Exhibit 195. Please pull Boone County Sheriff's Office item number 91.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at?
A buccal standard,
From whom?
Marthin Rutherford.
We'll mark that as Commonwealth Exhibit 196. Please pull Boone County Sheriff's Office item number 98.
vehicle standard.
From whom?
Mr. Josh Thornton.
We're going to mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 197. Please pull Boone County Sheriff's Office item 100.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at?
A vehicle standard from Steve Courtney.
I'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 198. Please pull item number 101. Actually, do not do that. I'm going to ask you to pull item number 102. Apologize.
No problem. 102 is a buccal swab for Mr. Joe Dotson.
We're going to mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 199. Please pull item number 104.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at?
We are looking at a buccal standard from Robert Smith.
We'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 200. Detective, I'm going to direct your attention to Boone County Sheriff's item number 21.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at?
This is going to be a portion of the plastic bag from around Michelle's head.
We're going to mark this as Commonwealth Exhibit 201.
Open it. You are going to notice multiple layers on this particular item.
Why is that?
They're just a hazard, a flaking hazard, and a chance of cross-contamination as well as inhalation of the blood.
I'm just going to ask you, Brian, is it possible for you to hold that? In other words, if you were
Sure.
Do you feel comfortable being shown to the jury? Judge asked permission to publicly present and allow the witness to show the jury.
I see, just show the defense counsel, or you.
No, we've seen it. It's-
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. Want me to-
We've got the court right here.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Detective, next, I'd like to pull Boone County Sheriff's Office item number 22, which will mark as Commonwealth Exhibit 202.
Yes, sir. This is going to be
Similar to what we usually show to the jury, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me see if it's been marked. Marked as Commonwealth Exhibit 202. Next, I'd like you to pull Boone County Sheriff's Office item number 26.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at there?
We are looking at the Accutrans, the silicone molding material that was applied to the damage on the door.
Okay, it's marked as Commonwealth Exhibit 203. Could you open that, please?
Yes, sir.
This actually might. I actually think it might work better on the Elmo.
TV out there.
Well,
so defense counsel can see it just there in the TV room. There we go.
Thank you.
Don't see that?
Ron, just kind of tell us what we're looking at here.
This is the Accutrans as it was applied to the door frame to capture those microscopic down to the really fine detail on that metal portion of the door that we saw was damaged. The markings on there are not our markings; those are markings that were made later at the lab.
These markings were?
Yes, the measurements and such; those were not.
Oh, I understand. Okay. But the mold itself.
The mold itself is what we made at the scene. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. And we're going to mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 203. Next, I'd like you to pull Boone County Sheriff's Office item 27.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at there?
We are looking at the sample from the door, the fluffy material that I indicated earlier.
That was collected?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you please open that?
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at here?
Those are the actual fluffy pieces that we saw on the door. We collected those in hopes of finding a tool somewhere that would have trace on it from the door. So not only looking at marks left behind on the door, but the potential for the tool to take away some portion of the door with it.
Okay. And how was that collected?
That was collected, I believe, with a sterile scalpel. Just scraped off the door into this sterile.
And who did that analysis?
The previous laboratory.
Okay, this is marked as Commonwealth's Exhibit 204. Next, I'd like you to pull Boone County Sheriff's Office item number 41.
Yes, sir.
And you can open that, please. What are we looking at?
A Craftsman screwdriver.
Do you know where that was collected from?
From Ed Yasuka's office.
Jessica?
Yasuka, sorry.
All right. Put that back. We'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 203.
205.
205. Next, I'd like you to pull Boone County Sheriff's Office item number 46.
Okay.
We've got Boone County Sheriff's Office number 46.
Yes, sir.
Commonwealth's Exhibit number on that. No, one Commonwealth's Exhibit number. .206.
Reproach, Judge.
Yes, it was item number 42.
Right. Okay, you're right. Please pull Boone County Sheriff's Office item number 42. And we'll mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 206. What are we looking at?
A screwdriver.
And where was that collected from?
That was from Ed Jessica's office as well.
Thank you. You can repackage that, and that'll be Commonwealth's Exhibit 206. Next, please get Boone County Sheriff's Office.
207, I think. So. File 206.
I'm at 206. What about it?
Please. Oh, I thought you did.
Put that away.
Which item are you looking for, sir?
Item number 56.
Yes, sir.
You'll say, please.
Private. Shall I be open, sir?
Yes, please. Okay, we're going to mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit 207. And, sir, where was that collected from?
That was collected from 1747 Tanglewood Drive.
Judge, can you approach, please?
If you know specificity, you just identified this as being taken from 1747 Tanglewood Drive. It says here on the packaging, apartment number 5. Do you know specifically where it was taken from?
In the residence?
Yes.
I do not.
Okay. Did someone else collect this physically?
That's correct.
Let me ask you this. Does the label indicate?
The label does not indicate with any specificity. It says the beginning of garage, I believe.
Okay.
It got cut off by the label.
But again, another detective.
Yes, I didn't collect that.
The next item I'd like to pull, Boone County Sheriff's Office, number 126.
Would you check that number for me, sir?
Boone County Sheriff's Office, number 126.
What is it?
It's Commonwealth's Exhibit number 208.
Can you tell me the item, sir?
It's an item of clothing, a pair of jeans.
Yes, sir.
Could you open that, please?
Sir, these are jeans from the victim.
Thank you. You can put them back. And we're going to mark that as Commonwealth's Exhibit number 208. Please get out item number 127, Boone County Sheriff's Office, item number 127.
Are you going to need that TV, do you think, soon? I was going to sit give that back.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at?
Victim's blouse.
Thank you. You can put it away.
It's in two portions, sir.
Okay. And who would have cut it in two portions? Was that something you all did?
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason you did that?
The reason that we did it was we attempted to raise additional fingerprints on the shirt using the process called either black. And in order to preserve a little more of the DNA, we only did the half of the shirt that we thought was most appropriate.
Were you able to get any results from that test?
I did not know, sir.
We're going to mark that as Commonwealth Exhibit 209.
You need a label.
Detective Cochran, throughout questioning this last day or so, I would ask, what did you do with it? Or did a number of items get submitted to Kentucky State Police for analysis?
They did.
I want to talk about the first submission. Do you have a report to that effect?
I do.
What items were submitted and when?
Item numbers 30 was submitted on 7/31. It was,
Hold on. Real
I'm
quick.
sorry, item number 58 was taken to the lab on 7/31, but declined by Mr. Clements at the Central Laboratory. The sexual assault kit, item number 59, was taken, declined by Mr. Clements. He preferred we send it to the Northern Lab for serology first, like the previous item. Item number 62, Michelle Mockby's blood standard, was not accepted at the time at the standard lab. This is all on 7/31. I'm sorry, sir. Michelle Mockby's number 62 was not accepted because there's a standard within the sexual assault kit.
Okay.
What was taken at the time, item 65, buccal swab from Dan Mockby and a buccal swab from David Dooley.
What item number is that?
65 and 67.
Okay.
65 for Mr. Mockby and 67 for Mr. Dooley.
Okay.
Handles from the takeout bag were not accepted by the Central Lab on that date. They were taken, though. On 7/31, we're still on 7/31, the cotton swab from Michelle Mockby's left arm was number 14, and the cotton swab from Michelle Mockby's right arm was number 15. Those were taken to the Central Lab on that date. The pair of jeans with the ripped cut area near the inseam, they referred us to the Northern Laboratory on that day for that. That was item number 54. As well as item number 44, the yellow utility knife that we saw today. We were referred to the Northern Lab for that item as well. The item number 20, the packing tape that we've seen, that was accepted on 7/31 by Mr. Clements at the Central Laboratory. Item number 61, which was the bra, blouse, and jeans from Ms. Mockby, was accepted on 7/31. The two cotton swabs, item number 33 and 34, were declined by the Central Lab and referred to the Northern Lab.
Why does that happen?
It has to do with their screening process. Sometimes there's a lot of reasons the lab take things and doesn't take things. One of the reasons is because they want it to go through a screening process on a local level. So that's one reason that they'll decline it. A lot of these items were declined and submitted the next day at the Northern Lab so they could go through that screening process. The other thing that at the lab is they only accept a certain number of items. They don't let us dump off 50 items at a time. We're just not allowed to do that. Their limit should be approximately 10 items. So sometimes they're like, we would prefer to do the more probative items first, and they'll decline those items.
Let me ask you this. So you are a crime scene, you process crime scenes, correct?
Correct.
You get something like this, you have to decide on 10 items.
You do. You have to go for the most probative items that you can. It's not like on TV where we get to dump 100 items on them and they are going to do all 100 items. It would be unrealistic for the workflow at the Central Laboratory.
Okay, were any other items submitted on July 31st of 2012?
They were. They did not accept Ms. Mockby's purse. It got to be too many. The cotton swab, item number 12, dropped near the body. They asked that we take that to the Northern Lab. That was number 12. Number 31, the knife from the janitor's closet. They asked that we take that to the Northern Lab. Number 32, they asked that we take that to the Northern Lab. That was the yellow-handled screwdriver.
Okay. And was that the sum total of the submissions?
There was one more. There was a buccal standard from Joe Siegert as well, item number 66. That was submitted on that day.
Was that accepted by the Central Lab?
It was indeed.
Okay. You mentioned that the next day on August 1st you went to the Northern Lab. Is that correct?
Yes, those were the items that the Central Lab wanted to see get screened at a local level first before it came to the Central Lab.
And what were those items?
Those were essentially the items that I talked about for the next day. That was item number 58, which was a pair of thong underwear. Item number 59, a sexual assault kit. Item number 54, the pair of blue jeans with a ripped cut area. Item number 44, the yellow utility knife. Item number 33, a swab from Tom Seaman's office floor. Item number 4, another swab from Tom's office floor. Number 12 was a possible drop of blood near the body on the mezzanine. Number 31 was the knife from the janitor's closet. And number 32 was the yellow-handled screwdriver.
Is that the sum total of what was sent to the Northern Lab on that day?
On that day it was, sir.
I'm going to ask you, was there a third submission to the Kentucky State Police?
There was sort of an intermediate submission.
Okay.
This submission took place on November the 7th.
Yep, tell us about that.
This was where we alluded to early with the 2 sexual assault kits. This is where Ms. Burns found that the sexual assault kit that she received was actually hair samples at the medical examiner. So we resubmitted the additional item to make sure she had the sexual assault kit.
Understood. Was there a submission to the Kentucky State Police on April 9th of 2013?
Yes.
What was submitted on that day?
Item number 51, 3 shirts and 2 pairs of jeans.
Do you know who those were from?
Those were the ones that we saw early in the bag from Mr. Dooley.
From Mr. Dooley's residence?
Yes.
Yes. And was there any other item?
Also, 1 pair of jeans was taken down there. That pair of jeans was the one with the ripped inseam. They declined. We talked about what we wanted if we could determine the nature of the cut, and they said that they could not determine the nature of the cut, so those were not accepted at the time. They were taken and declined by the laboratory.
Thank you. Was there a submission on May 29th of 2013?
Yes, there was.
Okay. What was submitted at that time?
There was the plethora of buccal standards that we submitted.
Okay. Just to tell me whose swabs were submitted at that time.
Mr. Yuska's, Mr. Hibner's, Mr. Grubb's, Mr. Owens, Ms. Webster's, Mr. Tungate's, Mr. Blanton's, Mr. Hicks, Ms. Colmeyer's, Ms. Baker's, Ms. Fryman's, Mr. Lee's, Mr. Latham, Mr. Robinson, Mr. La Follette, Mr. Seaman, Mr. McCulley, Ms. Davis, Mr. Hansman, Mr. Rutherford, Mr. Thornton, Mr. Courtney, Mr. Dodson, and Mr. Smith.
Thank you. And were there some other items of physical evidence that were submitted at that time?
There were some additional items that were submitted at that time.
And if you could tell me what the Sheriff's Office item number is and what the item was.
Item number 41, Craftsman screwdriver, was accepted by John Clements at the Central Laboratory. Item number 42, screwdriver, was accepted by John Clements at the Central Laboratory. Item number 56 was accepted by Mr. Clements at the Central Laboratory. It was a pry bar that we've seen. Item 26 was accepted, impression of tool mark evidence, the silicone impression we saw. Item 27 was the door sample from the tool mark impression, the broken down door material. 21 was a portion of the plastic bag, and 22 was a portion of the plastic bag.
And those were all submitted to whom?
John Clements at the Central Laboratory.
What's John Clements do?
He is a DNA analyst.
And when you send these things for analysis by the Kentucky State Police Lab, whichever one it goes to, they either will they sometimes return it to you,
They will.
or do they always return it to you?
We pick it up at some portion, depending on where it's screened and depending on who processes it and who is at which lab. They will usually, when we go down, have a box of things for us to take back to our agency.
And do they generate reports typically?
They do.
And are those reports shared with the investigating detectives?
They will absolutely freely share their chain of custody.
Detective, what we're going to do, those are all the questions I have for you at this time. You're going to be subject to recall to go over some other items later on in the trial, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the defense may have some questions for you.
You approach, Judge.
You bet.
We'll take a break. We'll organize some of the things that the questions. So during the trial of the case, if you're duty not to form or express an opinion until the case is submitted to you, not to converse with, allow yourself to be addressed by any other person on any subject of the trial. Further, no officer, party, witness, or attorney should talk to you without permission of the court, and no instruction to report on lawful persons contact you. As I previously made available for myself, and you are also advised that you should not research, read, listen to, or view any legal accounts of the trial, including utilizing the terms or computers. Be back. Should be about 20 till 13 minutes.
All right.